Hey, it's George Coyle from Triangulated coming to you with this week's edition of Secular Trends. So, today we are going to talk about aluminum, which plays a big role in our sustainable future. And what I'll do, all of these trends come from executive commentary, but I like to use the various LLMs to summarize the situation where I can. So I'm going to start this one off by sharing the following, which comes from Google's AI overview. It says the global aluminum industry faces a significant long-term supply-demand deficit with a potential shortage of at least 16 million metric tons by 2030. So, that's a succinct way, I guess, of saying that the fundamentals support an increase in aluminum, and aluminum companies are pretty positive on the trend as well. So, let's get into some of what they're saying. I'll start by reading the following, which comes from Alcoa, ticker symbol AA. As you look into the longer term, we see great growth in alumina. The outlook's still very strong across the key markets, primarily in transportation, not only for electric vehicles, but continued lightweighting and combustion engines. So auto growth continues. Construction, a lot of focus on the build out of the data centers as well as urban growth, infrastructure investments by governments. So growth coming there. Packaging has been very strong. Consumers are preferring recyclable, sustainable options for packaging. And so aluminum is thriving in that part of the business in the sectors. And last, I'll focus on the electrical because the demand there related to grid modernization, development of renewable energy. You see aluminum used in solar panels, wind turbines, and transmission lines, of course. So good long-term outlook for aluminum. So pretty positive there from Alcoa. Next, we have Constellium. The ticker symbol there is CSTM, and they recently said, our portfolio today is serving end markets benefiting from durable, sustainability-driven secular growth in which aluminum, a light and infinitely recyclable material, plays a critical role. And finally, I found a fairly interesting comment from Steel Dynamics, ticker is STLD, and here it goes. So our aluminum investments are compelling and parallel our entry into the then antiquated steel industry over 30 years ago. And there are distinct similarities. An industry with generally older, inefficient assets at a considerable cost disadvantage, and companies challenged to earn their cost of capital, thereby unable to reinvest in facilities and new technologies due to the lack of funds. So we believe we have a significant competitive position with aluminum. What about prices? Well, in my research, the paid research, which you can get access to if you click the link below, I'll put it below the little image in this video. But I identified 4 primary beneficiaries, and they have really been doing amazingly well compared to the S&P over the last 15 months or so. So if you go back to January of 2025, the S&P is up about 12% since then. Comparatively, the aluminum portfolio is up over 100%. So these stocks are really taking off, and a lot of that has happened in the last sort of 5 or 6 months. It would appear that the stocks are starting to reflect the potential for that supply-demand deficit, as well as the positive things that the companies are saying about the tailwinds behind aluminum in their businesses. So anyway, that's it for this week. Thank you for watching, or I guess listening, and I'll see you next week.